I want us all to get a very wonderful year when it comes to 2025. There's no gainsaying in the fact that the better you plan for your year, then the better things would actually look as well. So I want us to, you know, get our 2025 year relatively far better than 2024 has been. And one of the ways to do that is to prepare. So I would love to start thinking about that. Now, last week's episode, one of the Elevate series, we're talking about confidence and sorry, we're talking about creativity. And we realized that when you talk about creativity, you move on from creativity. One of the challenges you're going to have is the issue of confidence, because being creative means you're going to explore, new ways of doing things, new ways of thinking, and then you're going to have to overcome the fact that how do people see what you have created? How do you push your creativity outside there to the world? And that's why we're dealing with confidence today, being able to overcome self-doubt. So I want us to relax, get a cup of water or juice. If you're on the road, please keep your eye on the road. Just can put on your, or you can hear us clearly. You don't have to see the video, so you can just have your earbuds or your device connected to your car stereo. And if you're in the office, you can have your hands-free on your ears or earbuds or your hearing devices, and just enjoy the sound of my voice. Hopefully, I hope my voice sounds great. All right, so I want us to relax. Like I said, it's a family affair as usual, and we hope to make things, far enjoyable than you've experienced before. So don't worry. Okay, here we go. On our house rules, in case you are new and you're joining us for the first time, we would like to please go through the house rule quickly. Turn off your cameras, mute your mics. Your background is not conducive, but feel free to type your questions in the chat box, and questions will be entertained at the question and answer after the presentation, apart from the questions, the quick questions within the presentation time. All right, but just relax, just feel at home and enjoy yourself. I'm not your medical consultant, I'm not your doctor, I'm not your lawyer, I'm not your banker. So I'm just sharing knowledge from what I've experienced. You are free and you should consult those professionals as well when it comes to things about your life before taking your decisions. All right, that there is the disclaimer. Okay, so let's do this. When people come on visual programs like this, it's sometimes difficult for some people to speak out or to ask questions because they think that their questions don't make much sense. Most of the times, it's totally not true. Your questions make a lot of sense, especially when you realize later on that that question you wanted to ask was actually also on the mind of several other people. They were not just bold enough. So today I want to be the one who's bold enough to ask these questions. No question is stupid. No question is below what we can benefit from. I would learn from you as well. So let your participation today and engagement be meaningful with us. Please get to the box. Any eureka moments, chat it out in the chat box so you don't forget it. If you have a question, throw it out in the chat box. One or two of my team members will be looking out for your questions. And I promise today I will try and create more time, some time for question and answer, even though during the program also you have a lot of question and answer. And I want to engage you quickly. I want you to also be ready for that engagement as well. And if you are just meeting me for the first time, okay, this is the Elevate series. Today we are talking about elevate your confidence. That's overcoming self-doubt and embracing your true potential. That's what we are talking about today. I'm your host, and it's wonderful to have you. So I say welcome. I'm so excited to have you all here for today's session. That's the Elevate Your Confidence, Overcoming Self-Doubt and Embracing your true potential. This is part of the debate series, as I've said before, and I'm Coach BB. I'm your host and your guide for the next 50 minutes thereabout of this program. I'm a positive psychology and life coach with Make a Mark Coaching. And today we're diving into a topic that has the power to transform not only how you see yourself, but how you show up in the world. So, if you wouldn't mind, we would look at that topic. All right, we will be ready to go on. Confidence is more than just feeling good about yourself. It's the foundation that allows you to step out of the shadows and express your true creative potential. How many times have you hesitated on an idea or downplayed your own talents, especially when you are being creative? And you were thinking, I'm not good enough. I'm sure it's happened to all of us, right? I hope I'm right. If it's happened to you, just engage me on the chat box. Anytime I ask something that you know, just go to chat box and engage me there. I'm sure it has happened to all of us when we've thought about not being good enough. You see, confidence is what helps you to push through that hesitation. It gives you the courage to take risks, to share your unique gifts, and pursue your goals with energy. You know, some people, when they were, or people are dating, you know, you meet a girl or meet a guy, and you're shy to go approach them to say hi or to ask for their name or number. You meet someone at a party or in church, at a gathering or the community, and you're afraid because you just think you're not good enough. You just think they wouldn't like you. You think you wouldn't be their type. You know, all those things. That's where confidence also comes out several times. Yes, several times, Moses says. And confidence is what helps you to push that hesitation. All right. And the best part of this is confidence is something that you can build and you can grow. Confidence is something you can build and you can grow. There was a story of a lady who was into art, you know, and then she felt she could do her art, but secretly, always painting at home, doing her stuff at home, until she came to a coach like me. And the coach helped her, encouraged her to keep doing her art, but to bring it out to the public. Eventually, she went ahead and started having her own gallery presentations. This very artist became very popular and very successful, all because she was able to go, you know, beat that fear, that lack of confidence. So, if I would ask you, how confident are you right now? How confident are you right now? On a scale of 10, 1 to 10. So go to the chat box on a scale of 1 to 10. How confident are you right now? You can't even tell me, I'm very confident. I'm not confident. Oh, I'm absolutely confident. Or give yourself some marks. 1, if you feel you are so low in confidence. 5, if you think you're averagely confident. And 8, 9, 10, if you think you are a very confident person right now. Okay? Do that on the chat box. Let me just give a few seconds to see that. Okay, Moses says I'm on a 5. So he says I'm being honest to myself. I'm on an average. I'm on a 5. You know, Rita says I'm 7. I'm confident. I may not be on an 8 or 9 or 10 yet. I think I'm just about. I'm moving ahead in the confidence scale. Okay, Mary says I'm on a 5. Beautiful. You see, the thing about this is there's no good or bad scale to be on part of the scale. But you can be rest assured wherever you are. At the end of this webinar today, we're going to show you the tools to move you ahead as well. Yeah, guys, I'm on a 2. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. One of the ways to always get a solution to any problem is to be honest about it. You know, so imagine if I'm on a 2 and I come and say, oh, I'm on a 12. I say, we give a scale of 10. He said, no, I'm just telling you, I beat the scale. Of course, I will be deceiving myself. The coach will just say, you know what, you don't have a problem, just step aside. You will come and coach the class on confidence. You know, so if you're on a 2, great. Bella says I'm on a 6. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So let's see what this means for us. All right. And we're going to move on to do whatever it takes for us to even get better at this. So let's get started. Okay. I'm happy you shared this because it's what helps me also to understand what we need to do. So today, this is what we're going to do. We have a lot to cover. I doubt if we can cover everything, but what I decided to do is to cover a major part of it, and then some templates, some guides that would help you go along when we finish the webinar. I will send to your email boxes. In case when you are filling your forms, you said a no to receiving emails for us, please go to your mail after the program, send a request saying you are changing your mind and saying you want to get emails from us, so that those kind of templates and tools and help and following, the webinar can be sent to you. That way we save time, and then it becomes personalized for you. You can take your time to read them, take your time to follow through, and then through your email correspondence, I can help you also one-on-one, So we'll do that. That way we can finish up what we have to do today. So let's look at understanding self-doubt. Every problem that you need to solve, you need to understand. All right. What you don't understand seems always to be more powerful than you are. Now that we've set the stage for today's session, let's dive right into what we all face at some point. That is self-doubt. It's that little voice in your head that whispers that you are not good enough. That voice that tells you, what if you fail? I hope that sounds familiar. Does it sound familiar? That you hear this voice in your head whispering all the time when you're about to do something challenging or to step out of your comfort zone, and it says, what if you fail? Self-doubt can be sneaky. It shows up in subtle ways, holding you back from fully stepping into your power. But here's the good news. Recognizing it's the first step toward overcoming it. Once you recognize it, you've taken the first step towards overcoming it. Self-doubt, simply put, is that nagging uncertainty about your abilities or worth. It is the feeling that stops you from raising your hand, from starting that new project, from speaking out at your company meeting, or from sharing your creative ideas with the world. It can be paralyzing because it makes you believe that you are somehow less than, less skilled, less deserving, or even less capable. Some of us work in places where at some point you will need to do a presentation, either to the senior management or even to the board to the board of the company because of your level. And I've seen people who shake and fumble when it gets that. They crumble. Yet, one-on-one, they are smart, they are intelligent people. In fact, they are the engine rooms of their departments. But when it comes to presentations, when it comes to defending their works, they find it difficult. It's not because they cheat or they don't know what to say. It's just because they lack self-confidence. And how do we know? Because in their heads, something always tells them, what if you don't say the right thing? What if they don't like your presentation? What if they don't like the way you sound? What if you stutter? What if you murmur? What ifs and what ifs? And this is what self-doubt does. But here's the thing. Self-doubt is not a reflection of your actual abilities. Like I said, it's simply a belief. And this is where you got to get it right. You must get it right. Self-doubt doesn't really project your ability. Your ability can be testified to by others. They can be attested to by others. People can tell you, truly, you are capable. But self-doubt thinks otherwise. Now, would you believe the truth or believe a lie? That's the question right now. You must agree with me. For you to get out of that rut, that your self-doubt is simply a belief. And beliefs can change. They can be changed. And that's what we are opting to do today. When self-doubt takes over, it creates an invisible barrier between you and your potential. It's like building a fence between where you are and where you want to go. You must start playing it safe once that barrier comes up. You start playing it safe. You start avoiding risk and staying within your comfort zone. You step back. You begin to cower. You begin to go back into your shell and withdraw, all because of self-doubt. And while the comfort zone might feel safe, it's also where your growth comes to halt. We end up doubting our decisions, stalling on our goals, and silencing our creative voice. Imagine for a moment if you could remove that barrier. Just imagine. What would you do differently if you could remove that barrier of self-doubt in your life right now? I mean, right now. What would you do differently? If you could take self-doubt right away, right now, from yourself and say, I can achieve anything I want, what would you do right now? I just think about it. What would you achieve? You can get to the chat box and tell me one big thing you would achieve, you would go for, something you would opt for immediately if only you were told that there's no more barrier, no more self-doubt. Tell me that in the chat box. Now, remember this, and there's a quick one for you to remember. That self-doubt is normal. Self-doubt is normal. I'm not here to make you feel bad, make you feel lesser than me or any other person. I'm telling you, I also suffered from that. From time to time, we all hear that voice. Self-doubt is normal. Everyone experiences it, even the most successful people. The only difference is that they've learned how to manage it instead of letting it manage their lives, okay? So you also would have to do the same, and that's what this webinar is bringing to you. Now, let's do a quick exercise together. I want to take a moment and reflect on situations where self-doubt showed up in your life. All those situations where self-doubt would show up in your life. Try and remember them quickly. Try and reflect on them quickly. And this webinar, you should be writing things down or typing on your, always be keeping notes. All right. Think about the times when that little voice got louder in your head. Is it when you were about to try something new? Or maybe when you are in a room with other talented people, people that you feel are just kind of better than you, smarter. Or perhaps when you're about to share your ideas or work publicly. When do you have this voice in your head? I'll give you 30 seconds to jot down a few examples of when you feel self-doubt the most. Just quickly write it down. It's important for you because I'm going to give you a tool at the end of the webinar, and you will be referring to these questions and to the answers as we go on. So endeavor to write something down and be honest about it. I can't see what you're writing. So if you don't want to put it on the chat box, you can write it down. If you want to put it on the chat box, you can put it there. But if you want to write by yourself, just tell me, could you be, I've written some. I will trust your judgment. All right. I trust you. You know, I trust you. All right. So 30 seconds, almost up. 30 seconds, almost up. Okay. So I hope you've written down a few key moments. All right. Please let me keep your mics muted. I hope you've written down a key moments. All right. I hope you've written that down so that you are sure you wouldn't forget. I don't want you to forget. Okay. Okay. So let's look at these triggers of self-doubt. Let's look at those things that trigger our self-doubt. Now, some common triggers of self-doubt include comparing yourself to others. These are like common ones. You know, comparing yourself to others is one of those things that would trigger you. Okay. And also fear of failure or past mistakes. But I want you to remember this self-doubt thrives in isolation. The more you compare yourself to others, the more you focus on what you lack instead of what you bring to the table. So comparison is a trap. Okay, comparison is a trap. And if you let it through your thoughts, you would always feel like you are behind. But guess what? You are running your own race and no one else is in your lane. This is a very important thing you must learn. It's a very important thing you must learn. That who are you competing with? Who are you competing with? Most of us are in this unseen competition. We are in this competition where we think where we must win, we must outdo others. And when we feel we are at a disadvantage, we don't want to lose, we start feeling ashamed, and it becomes self-doubt in us. It makes us not to be willing to go out there and put our best in. Let me give you an example. You know, when you dress up for a party, you decide to wear a white shirt, a white inner t-shirt, and wear white pants, all right, white sneakers, and you're bouncing, going to the party. Imagine suddenly someone passes by you and mistakenly stains you with some oil or dirt. Most of us know what we'll do. Throughout the day and throughout that party, we'll be focusing on that stain on our clothing. If it's small, even if it's the inner shirt, we keep focusing on that. That's what I used to do when I was young. I'll focus on that stain all through that party. I wouldn't enjoy that party. But guess what some people will do? They say, well, it's just part of the party. That shows how the party went. And they fling off the shirt and start playing around. But for most of us who would think of that, that's what that competition in our heads do. Okay? That's what that competition in our heads, that's what it does. You are just there, you're wondering, whether everybody sees this your inadequacy. Everybody sees your weakness, whereas nobody sees it. Nobody's seeing it. Nobody actually could see your weakness. Nobody knows, whether you've done something or the other better than anyone. No, nobody noticed. It's only you who could tell what you've done right or you've not done right. Only you could tell. You understand? So when you don't know this, you tend to be worried, whereas you're worried for nothing. You're worried for nothing. You are thinking you are not good enough, whereas other people are watching you and saying, how I wish I could be as good as this person. That's what self-doubt does to us. It just makes us to lose that edge. You don't want to lose that edge. So what are you going to do? So we just look at some of those triggers, comparing yourself to others, fear of failure, and also fear of our past mistakes. When we've done something before and we failed in that, some people have had marriages and or maybe relationships and they failed at that, and they're always afraid of getting involved with other people. They're afraid of making new friends. Some people have gone to business and they failed in that business, and they're afraid of starting new business, even when the opportunity looks quite good. Some people have worked at certain positions before and they didn't do so well, and they're now afraid. Yet they've gone for training, they've gotten better, at doing that very thing. You must overcome that self-doubt. So let's do this quick question and answer. Where do you feel self-doubt? Where? You could share with me. Where do you feel self-doubt the most? For you, where is it? Before we move on, I would like to hear that. Where do you feel self-doubt the most? When self-doubt creeps in, when those triggers come in, where do you feel your self-doubt the most? Is it in your life? Is it in your career? Is it in your creative work? Is it in your relationships? Just drop a quick comment or a response in the chat box. Let me know. Where do you feel yours the most? All right. I want you to be able to think about these things all the time so that today you can open your mind, and let it all out there. Where do you feel yourself doubt the most? I want you to be able to open your mind to this and begin to notice where does self-doubt rob me off. Okay. So now knowing these things we've talked about, let's go on to do what will bring us solutions. Now that I've started recognizing where and how the self-doubt shows up, we're ready to begin the exciting part of building your self-belief. Remember, we said self-doubt is a belief, and beliefs can be changed. Because when you believe in yourself, everything changes. The American soldiers had always been told that they are the best equipped soldiers in the world. They're also told that they're the best trained soldiers in the world. They have a special Marines, the SEAL team, name it. They have different cadres who are trained to be the best at what they do. So when they go to war, they feel as if you are disadvantaged. That's why you see the American soldier looking so formidable. Though some other countries too are tough, but the American soldier is not going to let down for anybody. The Marine will not let down. They believe they are the toughest because it's a belief, a system by which they are trained. So, because when you believe in yourself, everything changes, you can take bigger risks. You can express yourself freely, more freely, and you start achieving things you once thought were out of reach as soon as you start believing yourself. Ask many of our big time pastors, when did they start preaching the way they speak? When did they start doing the things they did? There was a time when they started believing in themselves, and then their speaking engagements will change. Their ability to read and to decipher what the Bible is saying will change. So also, CEOs, top management, something clicks once you believe in yourself and you believe that you are rightfully in that position. So, are you ready to elevate your self belief? If you are ready, then let's do this together. What is self belief? What is self belief? Self belief is the firm trust in your ability, qualities, and judgment. The firm trust in your abilities, qualities, and judgment. It's not about being arrogant. All right. So don't think that having self-confidence means you don't trust in God or you don't trust your leaders. No, that's not what it means. It's not arrogance. It's not about thinking you are perfect. That's not what it is. It's about knowing deep down that you are capable of handling challenges, that you can learn from mistakes, and you are capable of achieving your goals. That's what self-belief is. And here's an important distinction. Confidence often comes from repeated successes, but self-belief is what allows you to try it in the first place to even make that success happen. Even when you're uncertain, that's what self-belief is. Confidence is what you build after you've done something over and over and over. And then you don't know, oh, well, I do it well, I know. That's confidence. But the first time you're going to do it, it's self-belief that pushes you there. It's self-belief that sees you through that first push. It's about trusting yourself through the ups and downs. It's like being in a country like Nigeria. You need self-belief. You need self-belief to know that you're going to make it every single day. You're going to get done. You're going to get what needs to be done, done. Okay? So, quick poll here. Quick poll. On a scale of 10, how strong would you say your self-belief is right now? Remember, this is self-belief. How strong are you at getting something done the first time, despite the challenges? On a scale of 10. Get on the chat box and share with me. On a scale of, I'll give you 30 seconds. On a scale of 10. Okay. I'm saying what people want to do once they have confidence, once they are able to have self-belief. I'm saying starting online business. Beautiful, beautiful. And that's what you can do because today we're going to remove that self-doubt anyway. So I believe by next week, As we move on into tomorrow, you're planning that online business. Monday, you are researching the online business. Even if it takes a week to research your business, you will do what we call the minimum value to go to market. You begin to look at what should I start with. If it's to build your website, if it's to find a business name, if it's to find a product to sell, if it's to launch out, if it's to put yourself on LinkedIn, if it's to put something out on your social media handle, announcing to the world that hey, I'm here and I'm starting this thing. I want you to go ahead and do that. So, how strong is your self-belief? Throw that on the chat box. Over time, I'll be able to wait, but I'll check it later on again. How strong is your self-belief? Self-belief is what helps you to make the first push despite the challenges. So, let me say thank you for sharing that. No matter where you are on that scale, no matter where you fall on the scale, you are in the right place. All right. It doesn't matter whether you're on 1 or you're at 10, because today we're going to reinforce if you're at 10, and we're going to help you to achieve, to move upwards, even if you're on the 1. It's about learning how to strengthen that self-belief and give yourself permission, to go after your biggest dreams today. Okay. If you're with me, I hope you're with me. Please get to the chat box and tell me, I hear you, coach. Just type that on the chat box. I don't want to be distracted. Tell me, I hear you, coach. I hear you, coach. If you're with me today, tell me, I hear you, coach. All right. This is where the meaty part of this webinar is. I want you to pay absolute attention, rapt attention, and take down the notes. The 3 pillars of self-belief. This is what I call the framework for growth. If you want to experience growth, this is a framework. I'm going to be very fast from this time on so that we can cover good ground. So how do you actually build self-belief? That's the question. That's what this reply is about. It's not just about positive thinking. It's about creating a solid foundation that you can rely on. I want to introduce you to what I call the 3 pillars of self-belief. These are 3 keys that when you nurture them, they will help you grow into the most confident version of yourself. Now, these 3 pillars that would help you grow to the best version of yourselves. 1, self-awareness. They are 1, self-awareness. 2 is self-acceptance. And 3, self-compassion. We're talking about overcoming self-doubt. And overcoming self-doubt by strengthening self-belief, positive self-belief. So the 3 pillars are self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-compassion. SASASC. You can shorten it as SASASAC. All right, for those that love acronyms, SASASAC. Self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-compassion. Now, this sounds very simple. Like I always tell you, most of the best things in life are always very simple, right? They're always very simple. What's the fastest thing you can make for breakfast? One of the fastest food for breakfast. And you can make it as rich as you want. It's probably sandwich. It's very simple. It's very simple. You could do bread, cut it into triangles, put some tomatoes, fresh tomato, put some fresh cucumber, put some lettuce, put some mayonnaise, slice your eggs, put some bacon. You can do whatever you like with it. It's very nutritious, but it's very simple. Most of the good things in life are very simple. So don't overlook the simplicity. Get this down and let's get cracking. Now, I'm going to breeze to this quickly, but if you so desire, you can ask me for details about it or for me to even expatiate on it from the email that I will send to you. All right? So let's start with the first pillar, self-awareness. This is all about knowing who you are. You need to know the good, that is the areas that you are working on, and the unique strengths you bring to the table. You must know them. The good, the areas you're working on, and the unique strengths you bring to the table. When you understand yourself deeply, you stop comparing yourself to others. Oh, now you see why you compare yourself to others. Because you don't know yourself. It's because you have not come to the full understanding of who you are. If not, you realize your difference between you and others. When you understand yourself deeply, you stop comparing yourself. What do others have that I don't? That will have been your question before. But once you understand yourself, your question becomes, What do I bring to the world? You shift your focus. So right now, take a moment and think about a few things you are really good at. What are your unique strengths? Write them down quickly. What are your unique strengths? What are the things that you are very uniquely good at? You might be a great problem solver. You might be a creative thinker. You might be an empathic listener. That might just be your strength. You might be a very good listener. You might be a quiet person. You might be somebody who is very deep in thought, who is able to decipher things. You might be someone who understands and can unravel mysteries and complex things and simplify them. Think about it. What's your strength? Some people are just givers. They're very empathic. Very, very. Some people are just so to giving. Some would carry another person's problem on their heads and they will run with it, not, not even regarding their own. It's what makes you unique. That's what makes you unique. Write it down. What makes you unique? And after this webinar, write more down so that you stop comparing yourself to others. Whenever you want to compare yourself to others, ask yourself if they also do those things. They have those gifts. They don't. They wouldn't. All right? Because we are all created differently and we have sets of this differently. All right. So I want to take 30 seconds and write down those things. At least 3 strengths you know you have. All right. This can be professional skills, be personal qualities, or even something others have complimented you on. People have told you, oh, you're very nice in this. Some people tell you, you know how to sew clothes. Some people say you know how to blend colors. When you wear those clothes, I don't understand that you do orange and lilac. Oh, whenever I try it, I do blue and green, it doesn't come out. Don't be like me. I can't compare. I can't combine clothes sometimes. So I need to go and meet my wife. Does this look better? I was traveling which day going for symposium. I said, should I wear sneakers? She said, no. Wear this one. And when I got there, I got pictures. I've not showed her the pictures, but I was looking sweet. Nobody will know. They will say, look at this man. He knows how to combine. It's not me. It's not my strength. Come on. Somebody else's strength. And that's what life is about. Your strength with someone else's strength can help build teams, collaborations. All right. So how do you feel acknowledging those strengths and the first step towards building unshakable self-belief? How do you feel acknowledging your own strengths? Can you feel better already? I'm feeling better about my strengths already. I'm feeling better about them. All right. So second pillar is self-acceptance. Number one is self-awareness. Now you're aware of who you are. You're aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. Now you know where you need to work on. You know where you already have strength. Now, also self-acceptance. That is to embrace your imperfections. This one can be tough because it's about accepting yourself fully. All right. So I know it's not easy. Even the parts of you that aren't perfect. Some people say, oh, this person does this too much. That person is too angry. That person is too pushy. That person is too bossy. Or you are too timid or whatever. So it may not be easy for you to accept, but you need to accept yourself for now. This is how you are until you change. So often self-doubt comes from focusing on our flaws or what we perceive as failures, as our personal failures. But you see, here's the truth. Everyone has flaws. Now, have you ever been in a situation in a country like Nigeria where the power authorities or the power providers sometimes would lose power supply to your place? Now, if everybody does not have power in your street, it feels better than if there's a problem in your own meter, in your compound. Only your house or your flat does not have power. It's very excruciating. Not because you hate people, but there's always this funny how do I put it? I think it's a form of validation that you are not the only problem. You're not the only person with the problem. You know how people imagine that there's no light in the house. Maybe they've not paid their rent. They've not paid their. We don't like such feelings. So if you don't have light on your line, sometimes there are faces and your face is down. You're like, you don't have power. Oh, then they just take off the face. Hey, now everybody doesn't have power. It's because I'm just using as an example. When we focus on our flaws, or what we perceive as our own failures, it makes it difficult to move ahead. But here's the truth: everybody has flaws, all right? So everyone makes mistakes. For example, everybody makes mistakes. What's important is how you respond to them. Your mistakes, are they your final end, or they are your new way of knowing how not to get that thing done, how not to do something? Are your mistakes your teachers? Are your mistakes your doer-ins? You have to learn from mistakes, not allow them to do you in. When you accept yourself, imperfections and all, you stop being so hard on yourself. You give yourself the space to grow and improve without beating yourself up along the way. So perfection is an illusion. Remember that. Perfection is an illusion. No one has it all together all the time and everywhere. And that's okay. The goal is not to be perfect. You know, Jesus says we should be perfect. That would be the goal spiritually. But physically, the goal is not to be perfect, but to be whole. That's the goal. To embrace the parts of you that are still a work in progress while you're celebrating the parts that shine. You know this and you know peace. Believe me. You know this. Number three pillar is self-compassion. This simply means treating yourself with kindness, especially when things don't go as planned. And how many times have you been your own harshest critic? We all do it also. But here's the thing, self-criticism only reinforces self-doubt. It's like fear within ourselves. When you are kind to yourself, when you practice self-compassion, you build resilience and you're able to bounce back from setbacks because instead of tearing yourself down, you support, encourage, and build yourself up to try again. So there are certain things you're going to do under this, and as I said, I can share them with you by mail to help you build them up. For example, you can shift your self-talk, okay? When you're talking down on yourself, you can shift the talk. You can think of recent moments when you have been hard on yourself, look at what you said to yourself, and then recoin that thought or recoin what you said to yourself. This is something I can teach you through mail. If you ask me, I can send you this something that would guide you, and you can do it by yourself, and you see the difference. Also, your action plan. We're going to create your action plan. Knowing these three pillars, all right? Being able to list our strengths. Knowing that self-acceptance is us embracing our imperfections. Knowing that perfection is an illusion and nobody is perfect. And then having self-compassion, being kind to ourselves, we can shift our self-talk, okay? You can shift your self-talk and you can now create your action plan. So what's the takeaway here? Self-belief is a daily practice. It's about becoming more self-aware, accepting yourself as you are, and being compassionate towards yourself. These three pillars will help you to lay foundation for unshakable confidence. And you can then move on to the fun part, okay? To the fun part of this webinar. This is the fun part. So, how do you take bold action? Taking action. That's what we want to do. You want to take action. You want to transform your belief into reality. All right? You want to transform that belief into reality. Now that we've built a strong foundation for self-belief, it's time for you to put that belief into action. This is the part where you stop dreaming and start doing. Taking bold action is what turns potential into reality, and is one of the most empowering steps you can take in your personal and professional life. I want you to think about the time when you accomplished something significant, something that really made you proud. Chances are it didn't happen by accident, right? It required you to step outside of your comfort zone and take action, even if that was scary. And now, what does it mean to take this? Taking bold action means stepping into the unknown with courage and conviction. It's like most of you that start businesses, you know how it was. You weren't sure, but something told you to keep on going. And you stepped out into that entrepreneurial world. That's taking a bold step. It's not about being fearless. It's not that there is an absence of fear, no. Because let's face it, fear is natural. It's natural. It's what keeps us alive sometimes. It's about taking action despite the fear. Bold actions are the ones that you move forward with, even when you don't have all the answers. It's about raising your hand when no one else does. Apply for that job that feels just out of reach, but you wanted to apply and you went ahead and applied. You got in there and you did it well. It's about launching the business you've dreamed about for years, or speaking up for yourself when you rather stay quiet. That's what bold actions got to do. Now, people, on a scale of 10, How often do you find yourself taking bold actions? On a scale of 10, how often do you find yourself taking bold actions? If it's a 10, 10 over 10, beautiful. If it's a 5, but how often do you see yourself taking, but when it comes to pursuing your dreams, how often do you find yourself doing that? How often? Write it there, write it there, write it down. You can chat with me on the box, or you can note it to yourself. How often do I take bold action? That will be a common reminder for you, all right, that you need to start taking bold action. Taking bold action can feel intimidating, but it becomes much easier when you follow a simple formula. The formula is courage plus clarity plus commitment. That becomes your formula for bold actions. So first of all, you need courage. That is the willingness to step into discomfort and push through fear. You must have courage. I don't call it somebody's name. I remember a pastor in Sokoto who is Pastor Courage, wonderful wife, Pastor Bibi. So courage is some people's name, but for some of us, courage is far from our names. But you have to adopt that. You have to have courage, the willingness to step out there into discomfort and push through your fear. Second thing is clarity. All right, knowing what you want to achieve and why it matters to you, because the why matters a lot. And finally, you need commitment. Commitment is the drive to see it through, even when it gets tough. Okay. And like I said, I would love to expatiate on these things for you, even through the mails. But let's really look at courage. You feel the fear and do it anyway. That's what courage means. It's feeling the fear and doing it anyways. All right. Your clarity is knowing your why, like I said. And why do you want to know why you are doing something? When you have clarity, it brings focus. It helps you to stay on track. When doubt creeps in, when challenges come, or when things don't go as planned, the clarity, the why, the understanding of why, it helps you to keep going. It reminds you of what the impact could be in your life. And you don't want to give up. That's why you want to be sure of your why. It fuels your action. All right? It fuels your action. That's what your why does. Now, commitment is staying the course. Sometimes we are doing something very noble, very wonderful, but it's tough. You and I know it's tough. Some things we do every single day. It's tough. You wake up early, go to bed late, you're born in the midnight hour. But that commitment to achieving that thing, combined with your courage and clarity, is what will see you through, no matter how hard that course that you are staying on is. That's why this is a winning combination. All right? And I want you to keep that combination. And I want you to use this combination in everything you do. All right. So these are areas we can dwell more from our mails. I can expatiate more on them for you. Now, take a moment now to look at your bold actions. Write down what you would want to be your bold action. And at this junction also, through your mail, I will be able to still teach you how to create the bold action plan. Okay. But as we wrap up this section, I want to leave you with this thought. The more bold actions you take, so write down your bold actions. The more of them you take, the more bold your life becomes. Each time you step out of your comfort zone and take action towards your dreams, you are growing, you are evolving just by doing them over and over. And you are bringing yourself closer to the life you truly want to live. So what bold action would you be taking soon? You can share that with me on the chat box, or you can also send that to me by mail. Like I said, if you said before in one of your, when you were registering for the registration links, and you said, oh, don't send me mail, it will not be easy for us to send you mails. But get to our email box, email account, send a mail to us and say, look, I want you to send me mails so that after this meeting, I'll be able to package these tools and templates for you as a template for how you can do your self-care, nurture your mind, how to create your support circle, how to also set up your bold action plans, how you can set up, how to be able to help yourself create bold action plans from time to time, always doing this and achieving these bold action plans. I will send all of that to you, if you so desire. So because of our time, that's why I won't be able to go further than that. Thank you, everybody. If you have questions quickly, I'll give a few minutes because our time is nearly up. So I'll give you a few minutes to be able to ask your questions, all right, before I round up within the minutes. Any question? Quickly, before I start rounding up, and I can take some other questions. The email is on the chat box. You can copy the email from there. It's a Gmail, please. It's a Gmail. Make a mark 2021. Let's write to make a mark 2021 at gmail.com, please. Make a mark 2021. Please, team, help me change that Gmail so that the mail that we monitor for correspondence is make a mark 2021 at gmail.com. Make a mark 2021 at gmail.com. Thank you. And also, you can also continue conversations with me on the Instagram handles, on the Facebook handle, and hey, the YouTube is also on. One of the videos is up at YouTube, a video that preludes this very program today. And last week's episode will be coming up this very week as well. Go there, go watch it. Someone can help share the link for the YouTube video that we shared on the WhatsApp group. Also, there's a WhatsApp group you can also join that helps you to just link up to everything we do quickly. Check in your chat box. All of that will be shared in there. Okay, questions. Let me just take a few questions that come. Yeah, let me take a few questions so that maybe one of the questions will answer yours, it will answer your own area. Okay. Okay, what's the best way to handle self-doubt when trying something new or outside my comfort zone? What is the best way to handle self-doubt? All right, that's the question. Okay, what's the best way to handle self-doubt? So, when you're stepping out of your comfort zone, it's more difficult because, like you said, it's outside your comfort zone. So, for example, if you were going out of your house to go and fetch water from somewhere far, and you want to fetch 200 liters of water, what would be easier to do? Would it be easier for you to carry the old drum, 200 liters on your back? Or would it be easier to carry a jerry can of 25 liters and then go to and fro? I think it's easier to do it little by little, right? But if you want to make it so easy, then you might carry a vehicle, a truck or something, right? So ask yourself, this thing I want to achieve outside my comfort zone, how can I break it down to manageable steps? How can I break it down? So when you break it down to manageable steps, which is what I've taught you in goal setting, you can then start to achieve them in little bits. And when you achieve some part of it, celebrate your wins. That way you build up your confidence. So when you're stepping out of your comfort zone, you want to make it slightly comfortable for you. Don't take too much on at a go. Just break it down. Another question says, okay, how can I become more confident in social situations, especially when I feel like I'm being judged? Most of us are social situations at a party, in church, you are you are the president of a group, you are the chairman of a committee, and they are told to talk, you're told to express something, and you become anxious, all right? So social anxiety is a common issue for many people, all right? I have people around me who are socially anxious all the time. But what I tell them is for you to calm down, ask yourself, do I know what I'm about to talk about? Yes. Do I have information? Yes. How much information do I have? Just stay within that information you have. All right? You can shift the focus away from the perceived judgment of people. If you start thinking, Mrs. Atolagbe will be looking at me. Pastor Crane is me, she's looking. No, don't think about that. Tell yourself that I'm speaking to a lot of people, and look out for someone that looks interested in what you're saying and lock your gaze on them. It always works. Just look at the crowd. Look for it. Even if you have just 6 people there, just look for some person that's nodding for you and just look on that person. Once you think the person is not judging you, you begin to flow. Because you see, you have the ability. Remember, the belief, you have the ability. You have the ability, you have the skill. You just don't believe you have the skill. Now, once you see somebody that looks as if they're encouraged by what you're saying, lock your gaze on them and begin to talk to them. And before you know, other people will be clapping and shaking their heads. All right? A few more questions. Maybe what I'll do, I'll probably also do a few question and answers and also share with you on the mail as well. Any other one? that, okay, if you have questions and answers, send to the mail. All right, make a mark 2021@gmail.com. Send your questions and answers to the mail. Or you can come on the WhatsApp group, join the link is here. Once you click on it, someone will verify you and then and link you. Someone will probably send you a message asking for your identity, what you do, and all that, and then link you to the group. And if you can also come on Instagram, let's discuss, let's comment on some of our posts on Instagram. I know a lot of people have not been engaging us on Instagram. Come on, what are we here for? Let's engage. Let's like the post on Instagram. Let's share the post on Facebook. Let's subscribe to it. Let's follow. Let's share and follow. That creates a community and attracts more people to our community to rub minds with us, people of like minds, to rub minds with us, and we can benefit from ideas as well. Okay, so on that note, we'll have to call it a day. It's been lovely time, sharing this Saturday with you again. Whatever you're joining us from, we appreciate your time. We'd like to say a big thank you to the team, Make a Mark Consulting team, for the time spent in preparing this webinar, and to all our supporters, all our friends, all the people that have been having questions, sending email. Someone sent me a wonderful testimony, in fact 2 last week. I'll share them with you as time goes on. People are taking what we're teaching, using them and growing their businesses, growing their lives, improving their personal lives. Some people are back in school, some people are expanding their businesses. This is what we want. So thank you so much for doing just good with that. Last week we gave out people that will do something on creativity. I need to see what you're working on your creativity. Let's share with you. Let's enjoy what you're working on in your creativity that is bringing you inspiration. Thank you very much. My name is Godribi. I hope to see you the first Saturday in the month of October. I hope to see you start planning for the new year. All right. See you again. Lovely day to you. Bye now.